Hello, everyone. Welcome to the podcast. Today, we are going to talk about something very important, something that almost every English learner struggles with, and that is how to speak English naturally. Not perfectly, not like a robot, and not like a grammar book, but naturally, comfortably, and confidently. Many people ask the same question again and again. They say, I understand English, I can read English, I can write English, but when it comes to speaking, my mind goes blank. If you feel like this, you are not alone. Millions of people around the world feel exactly the same way. The problem is not your intelligence, and the problem is not your ability to learn. The real problem is the way we are taught English and the way we practice it. From childhood, most of us learn English as a subject. We focus on rules, grammar, tenses, vocabulary lists, and exams. We are told that mistakes are bad, and we are corrected again and again. Slowly, without realizing it, we start becoming afraid of speaking. We start thinking too much. Before saying one sentence, we think about grammar, tense, pronunciation, and what people will think. By the time we are ready, the moment is gone. Natural English does not work like that. Native speakers do not think about grammar rules when they speak. They do not translate in their heads. They think, they feel, and the words come out. That is what we need to learn, not perfect English, but natural English. Let me tell you something very important. Speaking English naturally does not mean speaking fast. This is one of the biggest misunderstandings. Many learners believe that if they speak fast, they will sound fluent. But fast English with confusion is not natural. Slow English with clarity is much better. When you speak slowly, you give your brain time to choose the right words. You sound calm, confident, and clear. Another big mistake learners make is translating from their native language. For example, you think in Urdu, then you try to convert that sentence into English. This process is very slow and very stressful. That is why you feel stuck. The goal is to slowly start thinking in English. You do not need big thoughts. Start with small, simple thoughts. When you wake up, say in your mind, I am waking up. When you drink water, say, I am drinking water. When you feel tired, say, I feel tired. These simple sentences train your brain to think in English. Now let's talk about vocabulary. Many people believe they need thousands of words to speak English naturally. This is not true. Native speakers use simple words most of the time. What makes their English natural is not difficult vocabulary, but the way they connect words and the way they use common phrases. For example, instead of saying, I do not understand, they say, I get it, or I don't get it. Instead of saying, I am very busy, they say, I'm swamped, or I'm really busy. These small phrases make a big difference. Listening is another key part of speaking naturally. You cannot speak naturally if you do not listen to natural English. Think about how children learn a language. They listen first, a lot. Then they start speaking. As English learners, we often do the opposite. We study first and speak later. Try to change this habit. Listen to English podcasts, watch simple English videos, and pay attention to how people speak, not just what they say. Notice their tone, pauses, and emotions. One powerful method to improve natural speaking is called shadowing. It sounds difficult, but it is actually simple. You take a short audio or video clip, maybe 10 or 15 seconds. First, you listen carefully. Then you play it again and speak at the same time as the speaker. Do not stop the audio. Try to match their speed, their rhythm, and their pronunciation. At first, it will feel uncomfortable, but after some days, you will notice improvement. Your mouth and your brain will start working together. Fear is another big barrier. Many learners are afraid of making mistakes. They think people will laugh at them or judge them. But let me tell you something honest. Most people are too busy thinking about themselves to judge you. And even if someone notices your mistake, it does not matter. Mistakes are a sign that you are trying. Even native speakers make mistakes. They stop, they repeat, they correct themselves. That is normal. To sound natural, you also need to use small connecting words, often called fillers. Words like, well, you know, actually, I mean, and so. These words give you time to think and make your speech sound more human. For example, instead of saying, I think English is difficult, you can say, well, I think English is difficult at first, but it gets easier. This sounds more natural and relaxed. Practice is important, but the way you practice matters more than how long you practice. You do not need hours every day. 15 to 20 minutes of focused speaking practice is enough. You can talk about your day, your plans, your feelings, or your opinions. You can talk to yourself in front of a mirror or record your voice on your phone. When you listen to your own voice, you will understand your mistakes and your progress. Another helpful habit is describing things around you. Look at your room and describe it in English. Talk about the weather, the food you are eating, or the people you see. This kind of practice prepares you for real-life conversations, because real conversations are about simple, daily things. Confidence plays a huge role in natural speaking. Confidence does not come from perfect English. It comes from accepting yourself. When you stop trying to impress people and start focusing on communication, your English becomes better automatically. Remember, the purpose of language is to share ideas, not to show knowledge. Let me also say this clearly. You do not need to sound like an American or British speaker. Your accent is part of who you are. As long as your English is clear and understandable, your accent is not a problem. In fact, different accents make English more beautiful. Focus on clarity, not imitation. Consistency is the secret ingredient. Doing a little every day is better than doing a lot once a week. Even on busy days, try to speak English for 5 minutes. Over time, these small efforts create big results. One day, you will realize that you are speaking without thinking too much, and that is the moment when English starts feeling natural. Sometimes learners say, I know all this, but I still feel stuck. If you feel like that, be patient with yourself. Language learning is not a straight line. Some days you feel confident, and some days you feel lost. This is normal. Do not quit during the difficult days. Keep going. Let's imagine a situation. You meet someone who speaks English, and they ask you a simple question like, "How are you?" Many learners freeze, even though they know the answer. The reason is pressure. To reduce pressure, prepare simple answers. For example, I'm doing well, thanks. How about you? Practice these common responses again and again until they become automatic. Another important point is emotions. When you speak with emotion, your English sounds more natural. Do not speak like a machine. Use your voice. Change your tone. Smile when you speak. Even if people cannot see you, they can hear your smile. If you really want to improve, surround yourself with English as much as possible. Change your phone language to English. Think in English. Write short notes in English. Speak English whenever you get a chance. The more English becomes part of your life, the more natural it will feel. Before we end, I want to remind you of one thing. Learning to speak English naturally is a journey, not a race. Do not compare yourself with others. Compare yourself with your past self. If you can speak a little better than yesterday, you are moving in the right direction. So take a deep breath, relax your shoulders, and believe in yourself. You do not need perfect grammar. You do not need a perfect accent. You just need courage, consistency, and practice. Speak slowly, speak clearly, and speak honestly. English is a tool, and you are learning how to use it, one day at a time. Thank you for listening to this podcast. I hope it gave you clarity, motivation, and confidence. Keep practicing, keep speaking, and most importantly, keep believing in yourself. Your natural English is already inside you. You just need to let it come out.